Welcome, welcome. I know Paul's working out some I think it's the puppies. You have the puppies. Puppies and children.
Everybody, sorry about that. The dogs, Matt's bringing the groceries in literally a second we started going. So just hold on, bear with me here for a second, and the dogs will settle.
Yep. Northwest says Paul needs to parent. I get it. And thank you, Kim Hastings. I literally just finished the hair.
Okay, sorry, y'all. It'll be settled in a second. So I hope everybody's doing well. Dr. Barry, thank you for coming back onto the channel, to the sofa to talk about this interview, this interrogation. So for so many of you, we cross over know Dr. Barry, but if you don't know Dr. Barry, she is you're a clinical psychologist, and after that, you're a YouTuber. I don't always like to start and be like, Dr. Barry's a YouTuber. Dr. Barry has credentials. Dr. Barry's official.
Full-time job. So my private practice, this is fun. This is Saturdays and Tuesdays for fun.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. We have great conversations. And so her link down to her channel is down below. And so be sure and check her out if you're not already subbed to her. So she has agreed to come on. We've already watched this once on this channel, but when I went and did the video to like break it down for the other channel, the pre-recorded version, and watched it roll like slow motion kind of thing again, I was like, okay, hold up. And even in the video, I think it'll be out tomorrow, maybe. I was like, I'm gonna text Doc. I was texting you while I was recording the video. I was like, girl, I need you over here.
And I hadn't seen it yet, and so I'm so glad you did, because I had missed some updates with this one, and so wow.
There's so much going on. So what I want to do is we're going to basically rewatch it again. And what we'll do is I'm going to pause along the way, or Dr. Barry, if I haven't caught something that worthy of talking, whatever, she's going to be like, Paul, stop. We got to talk here. But we're going to just stop. And I just want to ask questions along the way about some of Erin's stuff, like the conversation, the way she steers the conversation, the way she doesn't steer the conversation, the eye blink, like just all of this type behavior, the line, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah. So that's what we're doing here today, everybody. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Barry, for doing Sunday here. I appreciate you. I know you're busy. You've got kids. You got your stuff going. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time to come to the sofa.
Thank you for having me. And just for my disclaimer, so I will make some suggestions of what might be happening with her. Since I've never evaluated her, I don't know exactly what's going on with her, but just based on my knowledge of psychology, we can kind of talk about, well, these are some things that could be going on in a situation like this. And based on some things that have come out about her, I think there are clear signs that she was a little sadistic, like she enjoyed watching the aftermath of some of her behavior, which is very troubling, very, very troubling.
Yeah, like we were talking about before we got into this, about all the new stuff that's come out about how much she had tried to poison her husband, et cetera, how much everybody knew this component of her. Hey, Tanika. I was just thinking about you earlier, Tanika. I was like, I got to talk to her about coming on because we got to get the TM boom on this new trial coming up. But like, imagine your family dynamic if somebody came to you and was just like, Dr. Barry, so and so, she's been trying to poison, like a known thing amongst everyone that so and so's husband or wife, whatever, is trying to poison me, and I'm just like that.
And I thought it was interesting because I think there was one family member of his that knew, and I think that person was like, "Hey, let's not tell everybody else because we don't want their minds to change about her." And maybe everybody else needed to know. Like there's some things that I think you just don't keep secret because maybe they would have thought twice about this different colored plate situation, or maybe they would have thought twice about going over and accepting food from her if they knew that she had attempted to poison her husband before.
Yeah, so pardon me. It's almost like the whole dynamic where they were, and I don't know if the motivation was, I mean, I don't know, so I'm just speculating when I say this. If the motivation was like, we want to give her a chance, and but if it was like something just as nice as that or whatever, or if there was some other motive, or if it was more, we don't want people talking and ruining the image. Like, I don't know.
Well, and I think his family was kind of like she saw them as her family, which is weird that she did what she did, and she kinda saw them as her family, but I think she was trying to get back at I don't know, like, we'll never know exactly what's going on with her, but the fact that she couldn't get to him, and this would hurt him. This would impact him, and I don't think she ever thought she would get caught, and she did.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And Maureen just said, I would have shown up with my bag of Mickey D's. That would have been me too, girl.
Some people's houses you just don't eat at. And for me, sometimes it's like, hey, like there's some people you just I saw something happen. I was like eating at someone's house and they were cooking and they put something in the trash and they pushed their hand down with the trash and the trash can and they went back they didn't wash their hands in between. And I was like, oh, I'm full. I ate before I came. I'm good. I'm good.
It's too like the older I get and the more I see, the less I'm like, we're not doing the potluck at work. We're not doing any of this stuff.
You gotta be careful.
You gotta watch it with people now. Yeah, but I would have my chicken nuggets and my large fry and my little soda, and I'd be like, I'm here for the company. Got my own little thing over here. Don't need that beef Wellington. Y'all just have at it. So yeah. So without further ado, I'm gonna pull Erin up on the screen, and let me find her over here. Is this it? Yeah. Okay. Now this is 20 minutes, but it's Erin's a lot. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so y'all, when I press play, just drop a 1 down the comment section. Let me know you can hear it, okay, and all that stuff. And let me try and play.
Erin Patterson of 84 Gibson Street, Leongatha, conducted at the Wonthaggi Police Station on Saturday, the 5th of August 2023. Other person present is my corroborator.
Detective Senior Constable David Martin, LK, 40053.
Right. Erin, do you agree the time is now 4:41 p.m. by my watch?
Yep.
All right. Could you please state your full name and address for me?
Erin Patterson, 84 Gibson Street, Leongatha.
All right. Erin, I intend to interview you today in relation to the death of 2 people, being Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson. Before continuing, I must inform you that you do not have to say or do anything, but anything you say or do is being recorded and may be used in evidence in court. Do you understand that information?
Yeah.
All right. I must also inform you of the following rights. You may communicate with or attempt to communicate with a friend or relative to tell that person of your whereabouts.
Okay.
You may communicate with or attempt to communicate with a legal practitioner. If you're not an Australian citizen or permanent resident here in Australia, you may communicate with or attempt to communicate with the consular office of the country of which you are a citizen.
Okay.
Do you understand all of these rights?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you wish to exercise any of these rights before the interview proceeds?
No, sorry. No, I don't.
That's all right. Now, I've just confirmed with you that you had an opportunity to speak to a solicitor before this interview commenced. Okay, and you're happy with that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'll also remind you that your rights are with you for the entire time you're with us. Okay, so if you decide later on you want to exercise any of those rights, you just let me know and we'll do that. All right. Now, what is your age and date of birth?
48, 30th of the 9th, 74.
And are you an Australian citizen?
Yeah.
Are you a permanent resident here in Australia?
I was born here and I live here and I'm a resident of Australia. Is that what that would be?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And are you of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander descent?
No.
Okay. Right. Now, as we discussed earlier, and we've been together for a few hours now, until after 11:30 that we came to your house today.
Yeah.
We want to discuss the deaths of Heather Wilkinson and Gail Patterson today with you. When we were at the house earlier, we discussed that you hadn't really been kept in the loop, and it had come as news to you that Heather and Gail had both passed away. Following.
Okay, so before we get into this, wait, hold on, let me do this. So before we get into this next little section, here's just a general question about her overall demeanor. Now, obviously, every person's different, et cetera, et cetera. To me, I've read into her as she seems, because this is not that long after this took place. Now, I get everybody reacts differently. I'm not expecting her to be boo-hoo, whatever. But to me, she overall acts bothered, kind of nonchalant. Now, we did see a jump cut, so we don't know what took place in that jump cut. This is redacted, so I'll give her a little bit of a benefit of a doubt here of who knows what took place there. But overall, almost like this, I call it this flat affect, right? Of like that kind of vibe. Do you have anything to speak on to like what we're seeing so far?
And the biggest thing, so once she knew that she was there because of the deaths of two people that she had dinner with, and she had cooked the dinner for, her eyes seem to be blinking a lot. And when we start to get stressed, our eyes can get a little drier. Just because somebody's blinking does not necessarily mean that they're guilty, because even if somebody is innocent, being accused of a crime is a stressful situation. And so the increase in blinking, that could just be, but for her, she later was convicted, but she just seems calm, extremely calm, unbothered, just like, okay. And that's why she's here. She's agreed to speak to them, even though she doesn't have to. I don't know what her lawyer advised. I don't know if her lawyer advised that, okay, go ahead and cooperate as much as possible. I don't know what happened, or if she wanted to tell her story, because we've seen situations like that where the lawyer advises, hey, don't don't make a statement without me there, and the defendant is the one saying, no, I look guilty if I don't say anything, and the defendant is really the one saying, I want to speak. And then the lawyer will often recommend, keep your answers short and sweet, stick to the questions asked. And if there's a question that gets a little murky, ask to speak to me, or like normally they will get some advice about how to respond. People that overestimate their own intelligence or their own ability to talk their way out of a situation, they often they want to talk. It's the Murdaugh, Robert Tellis, it's all of those people where they're like, yeah, let me tell my story.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And yeah, so you bring up a good point too here. No lawyer present, no nothing. I would have had somebody, right? I would like to.
I have the right to remain silent. Nope. Because also sometimes with a lawyer there, if they ask a question, your lawyer can be like, no, they're not going to. Because I've seen interviews like that. Because for Murdaugh, his lawyers were, I think it was, I'm bad with names, but his lawyer was there during one of his interviews. And so because they can speak up if a question is asked and they don't think their client should answer it. And so this isn't legal advice. It's just, I watch a lot of true crime, and we love it when criminals talk, but it's definitely, it's going to be used in court.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep going.
Yeah. Our Putlian.
Eating at your house, Donald, Ian, Gail, and Heather all become so ill that they ultimately ended up in the intensive care unit at both the Dandenong Hospital and moved to the Austin Hospital. Right. Following that, they had a deterioration in their condition, and that they become so ill that their livers have failed. Right. Donald underwent transplant last night. Okay, and his condition is still extremely critical as of last report. Heather and Gail passed away. Right. In relation to Ian, I don't have a current prognosis in relation to where he's at. As of late yesterday, the diagnosis isn't great for him either. Right. We're trying to understand what has made them so ill. Understand why we're asking these questions. Conversely, we're trying to understand why you're not that ill. Right? So you understand why we're interviewing you today?
Yeah, I do. But I'm sure you understand too that, like, I've never been in a situation like this before, and I've been very, very helpful with the health department through the week because I wanted to help that side of things as much as possible because I do want to know what happened. So I've given them as much information as they've asked for and offered up all the food and all the information about where the food came from.
No, I fully understand.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, hold on. This was one of a major. Okay, so this part right here, what do you have to say about, they tell her these things. Now, you saw her give a little bit of this when he said the things like the one died, one in intensive care. She, looks down. But then he lists that stuff off. And first of all, I love how he ate her up with well, everybody else is basically dead or sick. Why aren't you? And then she goes, her first thing is, well, I want you to know me. What do you have to say about that?
And it reminds me of Darvo Deny and like that she's flipping it, that she's somehow, imagine how tough it is for me to be in this situation. You're asking me questions and I'm trying to be helpful. Oh my gosh, like what, I'm trying to understand everything too. And so she turns it for him to almost have some sympathy and empathy for where she is, for her situation. And she did look a little shocked when he mentioned somebody had gotten a transplant. Like her eyes just looked, oh, because she probably didn't know that information. But her flipping the script to be like, well, what about me? And how situation is, and I'm trying to be as helpful as I can. And yet it was likely lies. So the whole Asian grocery store and all of that.
Another thing that I think is interesting too with these personality types is like, so just what she did there, like when we watch this, to me, that's an immediate, like she's telling on herself. Like you're reading in between the lines. This is what's really going on, but they don't seem to see it like that or or go ahead.
And it wasn't his question. His question is, why aren't you sick? And she's like, wait a minute, like this is hard for me too. Like you're not, what about my emotion? Like my emotional state? Care about how I'm doing emotionally.
Exactly. Yeah, that part right there, I was like, whoa. Because another thing to keep in mind is, well, even by the time that she walked into the hospital the first time, everybody behind the scenes, doctors, everyone had already been alerted to that they're being poisoned, probably intentionally. This is what took place. Like all the dots were very quickly connected. So by the time she's in this thing right here, she's already got 10 strikes at her name on the chalkboard. So things like this with investigators that do this all the time or whatever, they had to have with that part been saying all the stuff you're saying of like, we didn't ask that question. Why are we here?
And when someone misdirects like that, they start to look more guilty. So I don't think she wanted to answer that question. And sometimes people that are really controlling, when they're asked a question they don't want to answer, they'll say what they want, but they don't actually answer the question. And you'll see good lawyers and good detectives, they'll come back to it and say, that wasn't what I asked, or they'll redirect back to their question and not let them wiggle out of it, or direct the judge to have them answer their question.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to keep going.
The house, and I must say, for the record again, you were very helpful at the house, and you did point out a couple of things for us that will help us with our investigation. Mainly the fruit platter that you said Heather bought for you, and the gravy in the fridge in the pantry that you said was from the night and you kept on advice from the health department. So thank you for that. You also pointed out a recipe book on the counter, and you referred me to page 250 odd, a recipe for beef Wellington that you indicated was the recipe that you cooked. Okay. All right, on what we saw at your address in Leongatha. We didn't see a lot of food from Asian grocers or Indian grocers or those kind of stores.
To look in my fridge, I've got a lot of Asian cooking stuff in my fridge.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We like.
Did you raise your hand, Dr. Barry?
No, my son is asking me
okay.
questions.
That's all
Children
good.
and yeah.
It's all good. I was like, oh wait, okay, here we go. Yeah.
To find more of that kind of stuff in your Mount Waverley address, do you think, or?
No, because I did a big clean out of the pantry and fridge the last time that I was there because I want to sell that place.
Okay. All right.
So the pantry and fridge there will be empty.
Okay. So you want to sell that place? All right, no problem. Obviously, we've got concerns in relation to these mushrooms and where they've come from. Okay. Is that something you've done in the past, foraging for mushrooms or anything like that? Never. Right.
Okay, I just want to say this real quick about that. So, one of the things in that other thing that came out and learning why she didn't continue on with the foraging thing is because it was almost like if she says she foraged, they're going to introduce this evidence over here about her pretend cat that she did. So her foraging thing kind of got thrown out. It was very obvious that she should have gone with that. But now looking at this evidence, I'm like, well, even if she went with it, they had this evidence of her right off the rip saying, nope, never foraged before, never done that before. She clearly had locked into I got them at the Asian grocer, because she mentioned that just a minute ago. No, I did the Indian cooking at the Asian grocer and I've never foraged. In her mind, I'm curious what you think. That was like her go-to. And she probably was thinking, oh, you know what? The Asian grocer is more like not, I don't know what you call it, like not corporate. And so that would be quicker or more understandable to say, oh, they got these from some local farmer that didn't know what they were picking versus a corporate grocery store.
Yeah.
And maybe she locked into thinking that's the best excuse. That's what I'm going to go with.
And I wonder if there was some cultural bias coming in there too. So sometimes people, they're not going to throw. So in my area, Wegmans or Trader Joe's, or like those would be the popular grocery stores that somebody would throw one of the smaller international grocery stores under the bus and not one of because those larger stores have cameras. They have in our area, it would be easier to track. And I wonder if once again she overestimated her ability to get away with all of this. Her lawyer did a really good job keeping the worst evidence out, because you mentioned, I think it was a Facebook group that she posted to, like a picture of a mushroom that she said her cat, she never had a cat, had eaten. And so there seemed to be clear evidence that she was trying to learn about what mushrooms were toxic for all the wrong reasons. And so, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
You preserve foods or anything like that? Have you ever dehydrated food or anything like that? Okay. You've described to me relationship with your ex-partner Simon. Right. I'd like to understand why you had his parents and his uncle and auntie over for lunch on the 21st of July.
Because I've got no other family, so they're the only support I've got
Okay.
left, and they've always been really good to me.
Yeah.
And I want to maintain those relationships with him in spite of what's happened with Simon.
And I just wanted to point out because she said, because I have no other family, they've always been really good to me. And once again, I think trying to make herself the victim in this of like, I love them so much, I care about them so much, and they love me. And so that's why they would come over to support me. And I couldn't possibly have done anything to him. Like that's where this seems to be going.
And on that note, so do you think that there's any like level of, well, let me rephrase this. So there at one point, some of the evidence showed that she was saying things like on the Facebook groups, like, you know, oh, this family, I'm so sick of them and blah, 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 blah. So do you think that this facade of like, I love them, they were my family, it's all just that? It's just a facade. She really couldn't stand them and probably was like, I'm getting pleasure out of knowing that they're going to go home and die.
And that's where I would, it seems that way. It seems like she was a little, I don't, because to their face and to the police, she's saying everything was fine, everything was good, I love them so much. But then behind closed doors, there was this other side where she's talking bad about them and everything. And I think that was to get sympathy. Like, you know, feel bad for me. I have these horrible former in-laws, and people don't know just how supportive they were of her. Wow.
Very true.
Okay.
I love them a lot. They've always been really good to me. And they always said to me that they would support me with love and emotional support, even though Simon and I were separated. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because my parents are both gone.
Yeah.
My grandparents are all gone. They're the only family that I've got.
Yeah.
And they're the only grandparents that my children have. And I want them to stay in my kids' life.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me. And I think Simon hated that I still had a relationship with his parents. But I love them.
The part right there where she accentuates the word hated, I think Simon hated that I had a relationship with his parents or whatever. And then the part she said before that, I want them to stay in my kid's life. I want this. And it's like, but you just poisoned and killed them. Like, I think that that's all fake right there. Like, she thinks that that would sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And sometimes people project their own feelings onto somebody else, because I don't know that that Simon hated the fact that she had a good relationship with his parents. I don't know that he had any feelings about that is all. Any feelings about that at all. And it's almost like she's trying to turn it like Simon could be the bad person. Like she's trying to point the finger at anybody else.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Nothing that's ever happened between us, nothing he's ever done to me will change the fact that they're good, decent people that have never done anything wrong by me ever.
So we've been told that on the 31st of July, so 2 days after the lunch, you went to the Leongatha Hospital, okay? And that you were only there for about 5 minutes and then you left. Can you explain why you went there for 5 minutes?
Yeah, because I just went there thinking I needed a couple of bags of saline because I was really dehydrated. And they said, we want to admit you and send you to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And when you've got animals at home and children who have multiple after-school activities, you can't just be told to drop everything and you're off to Melbourne for overnight. So I had to go home and feed the animals and pack my daughter's ballet bag.
Yeah.
Okay, this part right here where he asked her about, like, first of all, Lovely, why were you only there for 5 minutes? Now, this is how I'm viewing this. There's people dying in the hospital, going into coma and all this. And she's like, number one, I find it interesting that she thinks she knows what she needs to get at the hospital. Well, I thought I was just going to go in there for a couple of bags of saline. Like, that's a very odd response. But then also when she's like, well, when you have children and pets, and for me, my immediate thought is, like, people are literally dying that you ate lunch with, and you're concerned and have the ability still to go home and pack a ballet bag to take your kid to the flight school, yada, yada, yada. What's your take on this interaction?
And once again, I think she was trying to come off like a good parent. Like, oh, I had all these other responsibilities. I couldn't worry about myself. I'm so selfless. Do you know, like I was just a little dehydrated. I thought it would be something quick. They wanted it to be something longer, and I have these responsibilities, and I just didn't have the time. And didn't say, like, she wasn't sick. She wasn't sick at all, but everybody else was, and I think that's why they probably wanted to, like, test her blood. Like, they probably wanted to do some medical tests just to see, just to maybe compare some of the results of the other people to a healthier person that supposedly ate the exact same meal, but it wasn't the same meal. So
And I'm sure, like, if I was her personally, I would not be wanting to get blood tests and stuff, because hopefully at this point she had enough sense to realize if they test your blood, they're going to realize you didn't eat any. Like, how did you get away from this? And nobody else did, right? That part right there is just, I don't know. Okay, here we go.
And I did that. And I went back.
Okay. Who did you speak to?
So I walked in,
Yep.
and there was like, I don't think they were a nurse. It was like, I don't know, it could have been an enrolled nurse, or it was like a helper person in the triage room,
Yeah.
right? And she's just like, are you okay? And I said, well, no, I have to run to the toilet. I've got diarrhea. And she wasn't quite sure where it was. And so she went and found out and showed me where it was. And then she said, I'll go and find someone. I'll get a nurse or a doctor for you. And so I went to the toilet. I came back out, and I was waiting in the triage area. And then a doctor came out, Dr. Webster.
Yep.
And he said to me, sorry, that we're going to be a little while because we've got a couple of critical patients in the hospital. And I said, that's fine, don't worry about me, I'm just a gastro case. I'm not urgent, obviously. And he said, oh, what's your name? And I said, Erin. And he said, oh, we've been expecting you because other people that you ate with on Saturday were sick.
Yeah.
And he said, can you come through? And I said, sure. And I came in. And then he said to me, I can't say the exact words, but he said something along the lines of, we've got a concern they've eaten death cap mushrooms. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, that's what we think they've eaten.
Yep.
And then he started asking me about what food I served them, and I told him.
All right.
Also, so the part that she was just talking about there of like oh, I'm just a gastro case, like, again, to me, that just seems so weird. She's talking like it's almost like another doctor or nurse went into the emergency room. Like, she's trying to speak from this authoritative place, like, oh, she knows.
And sometimes people that pick poison, sometimes they research medical things, or we've talked about it was a dentist or a nurse or a medical doctor, like sometimes people that do things like this, because sometimes I talk about Munchausen by proxy cases where people do this to children, and so they often know a lot about what medication and what things impact the system and how to correct it or how to fix it, because sometimes they know both sides of how to make things worse and also how to make things better. Like you said, she knew, or she thought she was just going to get some saline if she went in and said that she was dehydrated. And I wonder if she was even dehydrated at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would question that too.
Like, if she just thought, like, ooh, it would look suspicious if I have no symptoms. So I want to come up with some minimal symptoms that don't require real medication. Because saline isn't really like that. I'm not a medical doctor, but like to get a saline IV is there's some clinic, I don't know, like there's some non-medical clinics that do hydration IVs and things like that. And so it wasn't like she said that she had like stomach cramps or something that was going to require medication.
Yeah, and the whole thing with the say, like, I bet I could go get the checked right now, and the doctor could be like, "Paul, you're dehydrated. You could stand a bag of saline." Like, sure, you know what I mean? Like, it probably would feel good. Like, if I woke up every morning and had a bag of saline, great, let's do it. Right? No harm done. So it's interesting that she knows to go in there and ask for that. Now, I think Northwest said a minute ago, claim your crown if you said it about when she knew that they knew. Basically, she's like, I got to go get rid of evidence. Like, there's no ballet bag. There's no that. I got to go start clearing my tracks up because the second that they said death cap mushroom, she was like, like what? They already know this like instantaneously.
And maybe she thinks volunteering this information will make her look less guilty. Like, oh, I'm telling you, like, this is what they said. And I was shocked. I was surprised. I couldn't believe they even thought that it could have been this. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, 100%. That's what she was thinking. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just act like real nonchalant." I said nonchalant. She's gonna act real nonchalant about it. Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
there's a good question from Care for JCYT of if Simon had come to the event, would she have maybe included her kids? And I don't think she was at this point going to be harmful towards her kids. I think Simon wasn't, because she had attempted, according to the evidence that did make it into trial and some of his medical things that we've seen after the fact. I think he was definitely at risk. And I think she would have then been, because if they weren't legally divorced, she would have then been a widow instead of being like a divorcee. And some people like that, the idea of that. People that are concerned with how things look. My thing is just divorce the person. Like if your significant other, my whole thing, don't do crimes. Like don't hurt people. Don't do anything to yourself. Like if you have these kind of
Amen.
issues, if you have these kind of thoughts, talk to somebody. And really, yeah. But I think at some point, if the kids were seen as an obstacle, individuals like this, at some other point, the kids could have been. But at that moment, I don't know that they were. I haven't seen evidence that because it seems like she intentionally had the kids out of the home during that time.
Yeah, I agree. From what we've seen, it seems like right at this moment, the kids were, I'm going to say this moment, this stage in life, the kids were safe.
Yeah.
But like, let it go a little bit longer, let some kind of desperation, let the kids get older and do adult things that might disappoint her, whatever her triggers are. That's where they could start looking like, oh, I've got these life insurance policies. Because I don't think this was monetarily motivated unless she was trying to get rid of the family who was like using her money or whatever. But I think that she could have easily led herself into that at some point later with maybe the children or whatever.
She thought this tragedy, because did she want Simon back? I don't think, like, what was this was weird. This was,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Things that we will never know, because I don't think she'll ever admit to what was really going on.
Okay, here I go.
I understand you went down to the hospital and got treatment and that. What kind of treatment did you get?
Oh, they got me up to a drip.
A drip?
Yeah. They said that because we're concerned. So Dr. Webster had to leave. I think he was at the end of his shift, and he passed on to another doctor, Dr. Foot. And she said to me, because the concern is that everybody's eaten something that hurts your liver, we need to give you this protective medicine. And so there was saline and acetyl something or other. I don't know what it was. But she said, we need to give you this and then put you in an ambulance up to Melbourne where they can give you more, I don't know what the word is, more, where they can care for you better. Yeah. So I got saline and this other stuff and went in an ambulance up.
Okay. How long were you in the hospital for in Melbourne?
Till Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, so Monday, Tuesdays. Yeah. All right. And again, for full disclosure, so you understand, we've obtained warrants in relation to medical records for everyone involved in this.
Okay.
So we will get medical records in relation to your treatment there as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Good.
You were at home and present when we did a search warrant today, right? I know you weren't watching everyone at all the time, but I just want to go through on tape some of the stuff we've, and like I said, we'll give you a copy of this, everything we've seized. Kitchen, far left bottom drawer, instruction manual for a Sunbeam food lab, electronic dehydrator. What's that in relation to? Do you know anything about a dehydrator in your house? Or?
How convenient.
I mean, this right here, caught in 4K, as the kids say, has the whole thing there, lies about it. She was kicking herself. She was kicking herself. Like, I forgot to get rid of the instruction. I would have been like, yeah, I got one. I said the same thing. I got one. I dehydrated some bananas earlier. I got them in my purse. Have at it.
And then what? Because did they found residue in the dehydrator? Is that, or they, yeah, okay. So like if
Yeah.
somebody else could have gotten sick if they had used it, but just don't do crimes. You don't have to be in situations like this.
Yeah, see, Northwest said the cops had the dehydrator from the tip already, because she had thrown that away, all up on video, throwing it away. She was very messy. And I think that her confidence from doing this to Simon numerous times and no one catching on made her get real sloppy. She wasn't prepared for this.
Mm.
Okay. Do you own a dehydrator?
No.
Okay.
I've got manuals of lots of stuff I've collected over the years. I've had all sorts of appliances and I just keep them all in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When did you own a dehydrator?
I don't know, I might have had one years ago.
Okay. What did you use that for?
Like when I first got the Thermomix, I got really excited about like making everything from scratch,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I did a lot of, like everything from scratch ingredients, and I did a lot of that. So we had something like that.
Okay.
But,
Kitchen bench located against the wall. Recipe tin eats book. Okay. I'm not sure.
that's that recipe book.
That's that same book that the Wellington recipe come out of? Yeah. All right. From the fridge, we got the fruit salad platter, which you pointed out. Then in the fridge in the butler's pantry, we got the white jug containing the brown liquid, which you pointed out as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. From the study, we took the computer, we took another computer, and we took another computer. Right. In the lounge, we grabbed an iPad in a black and red case. From the room, we've grabbed a computer.
That would be an old one I had up in the top of this cabinet.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
a very old one.
All right. So that, if I had to prioritise, that would be the bottom of the list.
I don't think anyone's powered that on from fairly.
Okay. All right. No dramas. All right. So we'll pop that one at the back of the list. All right. A black mobile phone, which again I'll prioritise tomorrow for you.
Thank you.
Upstairs bedroom 2, far left towards backyard. Says Erin's bedroom, so I assume that's yours. Apple iPad.
I don't own any iPads, but they would be tablets, Android tablets.
Oh, okay. There's a Samsung tablet listed below that, located on top of the bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they've got it wrong, that it's not an iPad, it's some other tablet. Samsung tablet. An Oppo mobile phone and your mobile phone. All right. So,
Oh,
yeah,
and so you said a black mobile phone earlier.
yeah.
So that would be a Nokia. It's a really old Nokia that I've got for, like, you know, if you break your phone
Yeah.
and you got to send it away from repair and you need, so I've got this like really old thing. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Your mobile phone would be the top,
yeah.
and then we're talking
And then
about his work school computer, followed by
the GeoForce one.
the GeoForce one.
Yeah.
David,
I just, one thing I wanted to clarify, to make sure I've got it right, you obviously said when taking notes. When you went to the Leongatha Hospital and you said you went in there, and you got shown to the toilet, but you said you had to go home to pack stuff, and your daughter's bag and that sort of thing to feed the animals. When you had the conversation with Dr. Webster, was that when you first went there or afterwards?
I don't remember.
sure. The other thing that I should mention that, again, to your credit, police went around your house on that morning.
Okay.
Yep. On the 31st.
Right.
Yep. And they were obviously responding to the hospital call to check up on you.
Yep.
And they spoke to you on the phone. And you gave them the PIN code for your gate.
Correct.
And directed them to the bin where there were some leftovers.
Correct.
What are those leftovers that you directed them to?
They were the uneaten food from the lunch.
Okay. All right. So you helped them in getting that so it could be sampled.
Because my kids ate the meal too.
Yeah.
But there was stuff that was left over and it went straight in the bin. And so when I went to the hospital and they said they were concerned that everyone ate some contaminated food, I said, well, there's the leftovers in the bin, you can have it. Feel free to look through it.
Yep.
And
I wonder if she intentionally made the leftovers that weren't contaminated so that she could do this. Like,
I think so. I
and
think
then
so.
to feed to the kids to say, oh, me and my kids ate it and we're fine. I don't know what happened to them. Despite the fact I don't think the kids got any of the contaminated or the poisoned food. I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't think they did. And I think that she definitely made, because so one of the weird things too is that instead of making a beef Wellington, and I've never made one and I don't know if I've even had one, like a beef Wellington and cutting up, she made like separate ones. So it was like she made separate ones, I believe, for her and the kids or whatever. So there's definitely like a sign of like, she definitely didn't want the kids anywhere near that. But also, like, if you look at these crimes, whether it be asking a husband to help search for a wife that he knows he killed, or this scenario here where she knows those kids aren't poisoned, like, the person who's done the crime doesn't want to waste their time looking for the person they killed. They don't want to. She knows the kids didn't have the mushrooms, so she doesn't want to go get them out of school. She knows she didn't have the mushrooms. She doesn't want to take that whatever you call it, the antidote or whatever. Now, another thing too that I keep forgetting to ask you is notice how the police zeroed in from the beginning where she's like, well, I did this and I was helpful. And so they're like, well, to your credit, you pointed out the fruit platter and like they're scrapping at anything to be like, she's very helpful. She pointed to the fruit platter in the fridge, which she was obviously pointing to other people's food. You know what I'm saying? But like they keep going like, now to your credit. And it definitely, in my opinion, works. Like, I think they're trying to like stroke that part of her ego.
Yes. Similar to when Nate Eaton interviewed Lori and he starts with happy birthday. Like, oh, and so sometimes individuals like this stroking their ego, telling them, oh yeah, you really did try to help. You really are being helpful. Thank you so much for your cooperation. They're hoping versus it being like good cop, bad cop, or something that's adversarial. Because the police are just like, we're just trying to understand what happened so that we can help. And she's acting like she's trying to be helpful while also withholding very important information. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here we're almost done.
I said, I'll go and get it if you want. And they said, well, that's fine. You need to go on a drip. we'll call the police. And I said, well, that's fine, just let them know I need to give them a PIN code.
Yep.
So they did that, and a bag of food appeared a bit later.
Yep. So yeah.
Yep.
So thank you for helping us locate that.
It's fine.
All right. Anything else, Dave? All right. Any questions at the moment? No. All right. Erin, do you agree the time is now 5:30 p.m. by my watch?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to suspend the interview now.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it. So yeah, and that other part where she's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, to me, what I'm seeing there is somebody who, okay, now there's this other thing going on here too, because I'm not from obviously Australia, and I don't know the different regions and the different this and the different that. So this is what I equate it to. So for example, like, you know how here in the States, we have different demeanors and accents and behaviors, whether you're talking about somebody from New York versus North Carolina versus California versus, so we can kind of see these nuances and be like, oh no, yeah, that's typical of a person from blank. So because I don't know that over there, what I'm reading into is like, she's very disinterested. She's very flat. I'm very curious to be like, if somebody like who knows the context over there is like, oh no, you know what? That's very typical of people from blank region, you know, or is this just, no, this is Erin. That's her own thing. She's actually probably freaking out beneath the surface, but she's playing it off, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think, like you've said, she's never gotten caught before any other time that something like this has happened. And so the confidence going into this, I don't think she thought she would be convicted. I don't know. Because she testified, and I wish they had video of that. Like I wish, like that would, I would love to see the video of her on the stand. But with cases like this, with situations like this, um, I like to think of things from a clinical perspective. So if before the crimes, if someone like her had come into my office, I would hear this pattern of nothing's ever my fault. Like everybody else, like, oh, poor me, all of this. And I would try to help them take responsibility for their emotions, their feelings, uh, because it seemed as though she wanted this facade of, I'm a good wife, I'm a good mom, I'm a good, you know, daughter-in-law. But there was this other side of her where she's like, there was this vindictive, I want to get back at people. Somebody, I think it was Tanika or it was Lisa, that mentioned wondering if she was trying to nurse them back to health. But she never, any person she poisoned, like she never, like she they would get sick and they would get treatment at a hospital. She was never the one to come in to like bring them food or to wait on them and do all of that. My heart breaks for her ex, and I don't think he did anything wrong. I understand his thought, that thinking it would never go beyond, that she would never try to hurt anybody outside of him. And these cases are just, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, I agree, and that's a good point about the she didn't show any signs of trying to be like the little nurse to people before. And one thing too of worth noting is this whole thing about her having them over for dinner or lunch, whatever it was, is very weird, very rare. This is not a normal situation of, oh, we're going over to Erin's again for the weekend. Like this was very abnormal.
And
She was not the type.
because she said she had cancer, right? And she did, like, I think she said, I don't know if she was terminated. I think she thought she said, she told them that she had, or that was going to be the whole conversation that day, was that she had cancer. I thought
Her elbow cancer had flared up real bad.
I'm 43, and sometimes when I sleep on my elbow wrong, and it's not anything, but sometimes you get this. I didn't know that like right here could hurt. Like, what did I do to hurt this part of my elbow.
Hey, the older we get, the more parts of our body that we learn we have, because it's like this is sore today. I didn't know that this existed before today, but here we are.
Here we are. And so thank you so much. And so for anyone on my stream that didn't catch Paul's video where he went over some of the past behavior and everything, I'll make sure to go back and link it in the description. But if you go over to his channel, you will find that video as well. It was very helpful in just breaking down some of those things. Often Munchausen by proxy, the individual that's doing the harm is trying to get attention for themselves. I don't think this was attention for herself. This was more of a sadistic seeing people in pain. So it's my understanding her ex, he had to lose a portion of his bowels because of just how sick he got. He was in a coma for 16 days, something like that. Like there is just it's and she continued like giving him stuff that could have made him sick. And she was the only common denominator. And so my heart just goes out to them. I've seen people from Australia in the comments, and I think everybody is saying like something's wrong with Erin. Like I haven't seen anybody that said, yeah, that's pretty typical. Yeah, we normally do this. Like I think everybody is upset that, you know, something this strange is because international cases don't always, you know, get this this type of attention. But yeah, my heart just goes out to the family.
Yeah, and this part, with what's her name, with Erin, I think one of the things that's interesting is just how the Australian justice system plays itself out, or not plays itself out, but plays out, and that they're not like here in the States where everything's just public knowledge and everything gets put out there and it's televised. And so it's almost like been this slow burn all the way up to a couple of weeks ago when even more information came out of like what was really all going on behind the scenes. And it just gets more and more evil and sadistic. And I think it's interesting that you say, you know, hey, I don't think this is about attention. I think this was a sadistic, because just think, if you poison somebody and then sit there and have like, you know, this is going to take hours to kick in. So I'm going to sit here and talk to them under the guise of I have cancer, I need attention, you know, a fake diagnosis. Number one, I mean, that alone has so many things going on with it, right? I mean, just to get that kind of like, and then like you said with her, Simon, she was almost successful. I mean, like, yeah, she messed him up real good.
Yeah.
But he obviously lived each time. I mean, thank God, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for taking part of your Sunday afternoon and coming and doing this. And for those on my stream, again, if you don't know Dr. Barry, well, now you know Dr. Barry, but she does so much great content. She follows these cases. She also just, as you've seen what she's done here, just like filtering things through the lens of her professional knowledge and giving insights and stuff like that. And obviously a great personality to do it and very fun to talk to and hang out with. So be sure and check her out. There's a link down in the description for her channel. So, and again, I'm greatly appreciative, greatly indebted for you coming on here and providing this insight for us again into the Erin Patterson trial. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just warm you up for this. You already know I'm going to be calling you up, being like, we got to talk about Donna Adelson.
Yeah, especially so. I want whenever. I can't wait to see Wendy like that when Wendy testifies. I think I covered her testimony in her brother's case. Because I wonder if the defense is going to try, but Wendy's good at not, you know, at pleading the fifth, or I don't know. Wendy stays. She's not. I don't know. Wendy's Wendy, because Donna talks and she gets herself into trouble. It is so much. I think Donna's going to be dramatic in front of the jury. I do think she's probably going to testify. And so I'm definitely going to cover that too. And we will have to chat about that when is it Monday? When does she start?
So the 19th is jury selection. And my understanding is I don't believe they're televising that, but obviously they'll have somebody doing updates from the court. I call them live tweets, whatever you want to call it these days, whatever. But live updates or whatever. Then the trial, I forget what it is, the 23rd or the 21st or sometime next week or whatever. And yes, Wendy, from what I understand, part of me is like one of the first witnesses to go up, right? So she's done that motion to quash, to basically be able to say, hey, I'm going to plead the fifth on the defense stuff. So there's that. So yeah, she's one of the first. I would love to have a session to talk to you about Wendy, because I personally think Wendy is the most, I don't know what the right words is, the smartest one, conniving or manipulative out of the family dynamic that we've seen. I think the smartest one is the family member, the brother who is estranged and said, y'all are absolutely turned up, don't have anything to do with me.
I think the cycle breaker, he's the most, I think he's the healthiest person. If we talk about I think he's the healthiest one. He broke out of the enmeshment, and he got ostracized by them for that. But that brother, he broke off. Wendy, because I think Donna called her on a recorded line and was like, "Hey, how can I leave the country?" And Wendy's like, "Talk to my lawyer." Wendy's like.
Wendy's like, I got my kids. You're on your own, girl. I got what I wanted.
and her mom called Charlie and complained about Wendy. Why isn't Wendy helping me? And so
her mom put them all on Front Street. I mean, she's with those phone calls.
and I think that's why people thought, okay, is mom ever going to turn on Wendy? And I don't think she ever will. I don't know if she would let her team present a defense that she had no knowledge, she didn't know anything at all. There's some evidence in that one, and so I can't wait for that one. So we can definitely collab when that when all that starts coming out.
Oh yeah. And hey, Tanika, if you're listening, drop me an email, reportinglive@gmail.com if you get a chance, pretty please, or I'll reach out.
Could you imagine all three of us? And Kathy too?
I was going to say, and Kathy, we should. Absolutely. That would be fun. Yeah. Yeah, Tanika's for those watching my channel who don't know or follow Tanika, she's in the chat room here. Tanika's 2 cents. Y'all, she's the Sarah Boone hookup, y'all. She's been keeping it on. She's got a lock on this new Sarah Boone trial going on. So, but yeah, I see you, Tanika. Yeah, drop me an email. So that's what we'll do. 100% we'll make it all happen. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Barry. And thank you, Seven Squad. Now, sign up before I press in live. Y'all, there's a not hearing. There's a last minute motion hearing Monday in the Donna Adelson trial. I have appointments all day tomorrow. We're going to do a rewatch of it in the evening time around 7 p.m. Eastern time, because I want to see what it is obviously before that. So I'm going to wait to even look at it till we'll just watch it together. So for those who want to watch it with me, it'll be 7 o'clock tomorrow night on this channel. And that's it. Thank you, Dr. Barry. Thank you, Sofa Squad. Thank you. Do you have a name for your viewer? Do you do anything or
we say psych nerds, and Emily D. Baker has law nerds, and so as I was doing my stuff, I was like, psych, we nerd out about psychology. If you want the law stuff, go to Emily. If you want the tea, Kathy. If you want to hang out on the sofa, to me, your voice, I could listen to your voice all day.
Oh, that's sweet. I appreciate it. Likewise. Thank you. All right, well, everybody, Psych Nerds and Sofa Squad, thank y'all for being here, and we will see y'all, I guess, tomorrow evening. So y'all have a good one. Thank you, Dr. Barry. I'll see y'all later.
The pillows are fluff, thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Bert's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come live with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting. None None of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that, hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that, hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.